I've been asked by the management to inform you that they've lost the theatre cat. If you see the auditorium, will you please tell somebody of authority? It's a nice cat. I thought it had one eye, then I realised it was walking backwards. What a thrill to be at the Victoria Palace. What a theatre. There's something about the atmosphere. It reminds me of home. It's filthy and full of strangers. What a thrill to be taking part in this annual theatrical night shift. Oh, don't worry, I won't keep you long. I believe one or two of you fancy an early night. That's a short trip to the tower. I have never, ever forgotten the last time I appeared on a royal variety show. It was a triumph, a tour de force, a night to remember. Her Majesty the Queen, throughout my act, had a radiant smile on her face, and Prince Albert fell about. It's wonderful. Actually, I should have been here tonight. I should have been on a tour and revival of the musical The King and I with Madonna. But they had to cancel it. She wouldn't have her head shaved. Yeah, it was a disappointment, but this has been a year of disappointments. As we're all painfully aware, this great nation of ours is going through a very severe economic depression. Not that the depression bothers me, because I was a failure during the boom. It's no good laying the blame at anybody's feet. It's no good telling the politicians to go to hell because they're building it for us. The good news is they're going to install a new toilet in the House of Commons. And I think that'll be money well spent. It's the only place where they'll know what they're doing. The newspapers now today are full of the referendum on Europe, how we're going to become Europeans and all. And there's even talk now of a single euro currency. And I think that's a great idea, because then we can go bankrupt in 7 languages. And the banks have had a hard time this year. 1 or 2 have crashed. And my wife was worried. She said, you be careful, she said, which bank you have an overdraft with. She said, you could lose the lot. But what gets me is banks could be more favourable toward the small investor. I got a letter from the bank last week. As soon as I saw the envelope, I knew it was from the bank. It was pinned to the front door with a wreath. I went to see the bank manager. He hopped into his office. Well, he had to do. I was kissing his feet at the time. In a jocular vein, I said, how does my account stand? He said, I'll toss you for it. We sat down in his office. He said, before I could discuss a loan, he said, Mr. Dawson, I must ask you, have you got collateral? I said, no, it's the way my legs are crossed. He said, you've been to this branch for 7 years grovelling for money, and you've never noticed I've got a glass eye. I said, it's your left one. He said, how did you know? I said, it's the only one with a spark of humanity in it. It isn't what we can offer Europe, it's what Europe can offer us. Because we're a volatile, talented nation. What can they do for us? What about the Germans? Their biggest export is measles. Come on, let's be fair, they're lousy farmers. They spend the time marching through fields shouting, Achtung, Achtung. Then there's the French. And I personally don't trust any nation that eats frog's legs. Sorry. What horrifies me is if you order frog's legs, what happens to the rest of the frog? Is it doomed to spend the rest of its life going down the kitchen on casters? To wake up every morning knowing full well that I jumped out of the question. Tonight has been a night of tributes, and I'd like to add mine, if I may, to a great, but alas, as so often in this country, forgotten composer from the north. His name was Seth Bottlecrud, and from Halifax, and he was the first man to discover that people who ate prunes are never late for work. If I may, I would like to eulogise by playing you a piece of music which I think epitomises his greatness. It's a song he wrote as he lay tragically dying at the Rochdale Black Pudding plantation. Yeah, I thought it was good. As I say, he wrote this as he lay tragically dying. Thank you. And then he died. Well, where would you be without a laugh? Oh, I do get the odd smile from an audience, but it's usually wind. He did leave behind him, though, a legacy of some great songs. Here's a song which kept our feet a-tapping during the dark days of Dunkirk. My Auntie Fanny, by mistake, put AirPods in a cotton cake. And the only advice that we could give was skip to the loo, my darling. And who can forget? There was a young man from Bombay who sailed to China one day. He was strapped to the tiller with a sex-starved gorilla, and China's a ruddy long way. This is the publisher. This is the part of the show which I've actually been looking forward to. The Artist Benevolent Fund have given me the honour of introducing you to a lady tonight, she's in the balcony, who is possibly the oldest living vaudeville performer in the country. She's never been to a royal show. She's so excited. And tonight is her birthday. Her name is Gladys Pickering, and she's 111 years old today. Let's wish her happy birthday on the piano. Right? Sorry? Oh, she's not 111, she's ill. Every act likes to have a big finish. And believe me, I've got the biggest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Roly Polies!
Coming next, a glittering celebration of the musical world of Cameron Mackintosh on the Royal Variety Performance.